Welcome to another episode. This is a sash clamp, and it's the biggest clamp that either my dad or myself own. We've got a job coming up soon that requires us to clamp something together that's a little over 1.3 meters wide, and unfortunately this clamp will only go up to a meter wide. So in today's episode I'm going to show you how to build a set of sash clamp extensions. The first step was to cut out a set of plates the same thickness and width as the main bar that makes up the sash clamp. These plates were made long enough for the end stops to sit on, space for a hole to put the retaining pin in, and approximately 75mm extra, which I will explain about later. I cut out 2 plates as I needed to make 2 sash clamp extensions. It should be noted that these extensions will not be infinitely adjustable like the rest of the sash clamp. They will extend them by a set amount, however as I know the size of the thing that I need to clamp together, this isn't a problem for me. Finally, this episode is not supposed to be a definitive guide on how this should be done. I am making this episode more to give people inspiration and an idea of how this could be done if, like me, you find your clamps are too short. With the plates cut, I ran a flat disc along the edge to deburr them and settle them a little so that they would slide through the sash clamp end stops. The next step in building the sash clamp extensions is to start drilling some holes. The first one we need to drill is for this pin to stop the end stop coming off this piece. I've also gone and cut these pieces of box section steel which are going to provide the extension that we need. These need holes drilling in it so that it can be bolted to the existing sash clamp. I'm also going to drill some holes which will act at the end of some slots so this can slot over the sash clamp, and also so this piece can slot into the end and then I can weld round it. The first step was to mark out the positions of the holes in the plate. The hole started by using the centre drill before being taken out to set the mill. I'm not sure if you can see it, but just there is a seam that forms when they create a piece of box section. It's a good idea to pay attention to where that is because it can cause problems when you're trying to drill through from one side to the other. You're much better off starting on the side where that is formed. So when we create the slot, I'm going to drill the end hole in this side and go from this side that way out. The extension pieces are designed to bolt onto the sash clamps, so a set of holes with the same pitch as those in the sash clamps were needed. These started with me accurately marking the positions of them onto the box section steel. With the holes marked, once again they started off with being centre drilled, before being followed up with a 5mm drill so they could be tapped out to every 6. The holes in the sash clamp are 1/4 inch, which is really close to 6mm, and I just happen to have access to an abundance of metric fasteners. Having captive nuts or threaded holes will make assembling the extensions onto the sash clamp much easier. the bolt holes drilled, I then mark the position of the hole that will form the end of the slot that goes over the existing sash clamp bar. Drilling holes was the usual rinse and repeat of centre drill, followed by taking it out to the necessary size and drilling all the way through. With a hole for the slot to go over the sash clamp bar drilled, I then mark the position of the hole for the slot that the plate would fit into, and this is where that additional 75mm comes in. With all the holes drilled, we can now mark out the position of the slots, and then we're going to have to do some precision grinding. With one slot cut, I then just had to repeat the process 3 more times. After much filing, we've got the slot here taken out to size so that it can fit onto the sash clamp, like so. And the slot on this end has been filed out enough so that this plate can slide into it as well. What we need to do next is prep this joint for welding. The first step in prepping the parts for welding was to mark the position of where the plate slides into the slot in the box section. This is so I would know where to grind off the paint that was on the plate. With the positions marked, I ground the mill scale off the box section on the slot and the paint off the plate. I've ruined my tea. After rinsing the grinding dust out of my mug and making myself a fresh brew, I assembled the plate and box section, carefully aligned them and then clamped them together. clamped in place, I could then tack weld them together. With it tacked in place and the clamps out of the way, I could then fully weld them. After knocking off a few bits of splatter so that the end stops could slide back on, I cleared the holes on one side of the extension bar for the bolt and then tapped the other with the necessary M6 thread. And with the extensions made, all I had to do was fit them to the sash clamps. That's it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please hit that like button and share. If you want to see more how to build videos like this one, then please click on the playlist, which will be somewhere around here. And if you want to get notifications for when I post new videos, then please hit that subscribe button. I suppose the final question is, why have I built a set of sash clamp extensions? Well, they're so I can build